Hey, everybody. It is Ty Fischer and Mark with Rebookü. Today, we are going to talk about our sports creator services. For those that know Mark, here he is. For those that don't, Mark is head of our client relations customer services. He is an important asset to this company and works a lot with our customers. So, Mark, tell us a little bit about you. How long have you been working with me and Rebookü and whatnot?
Thank you, Ty. Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, and I've been handling customer service since I don't know. I believe it's been 5 to 6 years now. Me and Ty working together. I'm very glad to tell that I'm the first person after Ty who started handling the customers for Rebookü. That is one of the best opportunity I had get, and I know uh, I have took that opportunity, and this is now I am here. Right now, I'm handling the whole customer service and the client relation department, wherein we have a good team of five customer service representative. Most of most of our customers, they can communicate with Bhumi, Supriya, Naminder. So yes, we are doing well. Customer service is one of the important prospect in any company, and that's what we believe, serving customer well. We believe in communication with people. We believe that rather than keeping things automated or connecting our customer to IVR or maybe to a bot, it won't help. So a personal touch is always important in any business aspects. So yes, and about sports creator, yes, we are done with our almost done with our spring season.
Yep.
Heading towards maybe in couple of months, we will head towards our fall season.
Yeah.
I know, many of our customers, online and offline, they might reach out to us with many questions. Always reach out to me, reach out to support, reach out to Ty. We are always help to streamline things. If you find any concern, issues which is not going proper, we can always work on it. It's always one email. Uh, we are just one email behind from you, because once we have that email, once we have your concerns, we can, uh, bring things in place.
Yep.
So yes, Ty, let's talk about sports creator and
Okay.
help our customers easy their process in fall.
Sure. So, a little bit about Sports Creator. Sports Creator is a branch off of our Team Builder service. Our Team Builder service was put in place to take the individual photos and build those into teams, your virtual groups, if you will. So, we realized, obviously, many of you know or may not know, I was a co founder of Next Gen Photo Solutions and already had experience in this field. But we wanted to bring it to Rebookü in a little bit different way, where we could also take care of your team, individual, and memory mate. Simplify the pricing, provide you all the graphics you need, and help you integrate that system into your workflow seamlessly. Now, we do have an online sports creator service and we are redesigning it. I will agree it's a bit clunky. And if you need help with it, we're happy to walk you through it. I think the first time you go through it, if you want some help from us, it will make it easier for you. I think that's always the best way to go through the online service. So you can call our support team, you can email Mark or support at rebookü.com, or you can get on our live chat. Our live chat's available every day from 8 to 8. Is that Monday through Friday? Is that correct?
Yes, Monday to Friday.
Yep.
So possibly we have live chat and calls available Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and chat 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And email support, we do have support available on Saturdays. You can also try to call us. We do have, but again, we have limited support on Saturday. So
Yeah.
possibly we not might be that faster as what we do in the weekdays. But yes, we do have support on Saturdays as well.
Okay. Yeah. And generally, we're closed on Sundays. Support is
Yes.
closed on Sundays, but we do run a rotational production staff during the months of May, September, and
Mhm.
October. So that's
Yes.
just to keep up with production and make sure your guys' orders are flowing properly. So, sports creator.
Yes.
Um, I had a long talk with Stella Trace. I did a podcast, if you will, with her yesterday. She's a big advocate for our sports creator service and a big client for us. And one of the things that she said that really struck me is don't wait to get overwhelmed. Don't wait till your workflow is overwhelming you to put things in place. Get ahead of it. And that's really why we're here today, is because we want to encourage you to start thinking about your fall workflow. Um,
Yes.
we will be happy to do a test job for you up to $75 free of charge, to take one or two teams that you've already done. We'll take it from the original files, extract, uh, place them on the graphics, output all your team, individual, and memory make graphics. Now, a lot of people are curious, what exactly do we need from the client for this process to happen? Mark, why don't you touch base on the things that are essential for us to receive from the client to make
Yes.
sure we
So
can go ahead.
yeah, so possibly, to set up a offline wherein, first of all, we need to understand your requirement. So very first thing we need is how you photo shoot the background you're using. Uh, then do you prefer 3/4 or full length images? Then do you prefer us to crop those images? Apart from that, that's the extraction part. Then we also have the retouching part. If you would like us to color correct the images to match them, yes, please. We can do that. We can also do the basic retouching like blemishes removal. Most of the customer they don't need, since graphic, it's a kind of in the maximum size of graphic is 8 by 10 or something,
Yeah,
so
I
I don't
think
think that
the
would be
biggest thing
much
we see is the
visible.
eyeglass glare.
Yeah, that's most important is eyeglass glare. That's what we can remove at 60 cents. For minor and major is $2. Then most important part is the images should be shot on same focal plane. That is very important. Now that's the important aspect, because our designer, they don't know the children's or the players personally, so they don't know their heights. So again, if you click the images on the same focal length or the same focal plane, wherein the subject is placed on the specific uh, place and the camera is locked in the tripod, without there shouldn't be a movement in the lens as well,
Yeah.
because any movement to the lens will have a movement to the background behind whatever background you're using, and that would make create confusion. And that's where we need to do manual scaling, and which will impact the height issues within your team.
Yeah,
And
it's
at the
really
end,
important, and let me touch on that. It's really important that you're
yes,
shooting on the same focal plane. Your athletes standing in the same place every time. And most of you are already doing this, but for those that are getting
yes,
into this is one of the most important pieces. Making sure they're standing in the same place, making sure your camera's on a tripod. Use a fixed lens like a 50 or 85. And if you don't have one, just make sure your focal length is locked in and maybe gaffer
mhm,
taped so that the camera can't be adjusted. Because, be honest with you, 1 inch to 2 inches in or out can be 6 inches to a foot difference in height. It really is that drastic. We've seen it time and time again. So that's the most
yes.
important part. Please go ahead, Mark.
Yes. So coming back to that, I do have customers. They are reaching out to me. Who usually places online orders, and in the online order form, we do have that option that you have to click or checkbox that the images are on a same focal plane. So I do have a lot of customers reaching out to us and asking that if the images are not on same focal plane, we missed on this or that. We had images shot on different days, different cameras. So yes, we agree with that part. In one of the cases, we can try our best to adjust those height. That again, it would be completely over our understanding. Again, it is our understanding. It cannot be perfect or it cannot be proper as per your requirement. So again, we always ask the customer to avoid such issues. But if there is any, we can always try to do that. But again, most of the time we would request you to avoid this issue, which is very important aspect, because at the end, if you go ahead and print those without checking the heights and you deliver them to the parents, they might end up creating chaos, and they will come back to you, and we have to redo everything. That would be a time consuming and even money consuming.
Yeah. And we've got a question from a viewer, Tammy Dixon. Hi, Tammy. It's good to see you. Hope you're well. Tell Tony I said hello. She said, what would you say is the best focal length to set the camera from the subject as well as the suggested height? So here's what I say, Tammy. First of all, you want to shoot loose. You don't really want to be zoomed in on the background and the subject. You want to be back far enough. Let's say you're shooting on a blast to light highlight, for example, and that's generally 5x7 or 6x7. You want to be able to see the outside frame edges of that highlight. You want to shoot that loose. So that would kind of be how you set your length. And your height is really up to you. I see people shoot high, I see people shoot low. My preference is somewhere between 36 to 42 inches. Somewhere between there is the sweet spot for that tripod and for that camera to sit and live. And also, realize it's going to be a little off center because you're shooting vertically. You're flipping the camera over. So you're back far enough to where you're shooting loose enough to see the frame. Now, if you're shooting on a wide background, let's say like Savage paper or muslin, where it's 10 feet wide, you don't need to shoot that loose, but you want to have enough available negative space, if you will, that if your subject's 5'10" and your next subject's 6'7", you feel comfortable that you can capture them without adjusting anything. That is the goal. And I know it seems kind of weird that you're shooting from that distance. And quite honestly, with a 50 millimeter lens, you can do that from about 13 to 14 feet tops. But here's the thing. We're not zooming in and trying to capture all these megapixels. We're not trying, because we're not shooting for billboards. We're not shooting for production. We're shooting for 8x10s, digital downloads, maybe an 11x14 or 16x20, maybe. So it's okay to shoot loose. And when we extract, there's all that negative space because it's not going to affect the quality of the image. The biggest thing that's going to affect the quality of the image is if you're shooting f8 or larger. And what I mean by that is, like an f2.8, an f4, you don't want to be doing that simply because you're going to lose detail in the hair. So you're going to want to make sure you're f8 or smaller. We have training with our team, and we tend to shoot right around f11. That works well for us, but you can shoot f8 or smaller. And then you ask, what with the height, if someone is so tall their head comes above the highlight, can you still extract easily? Yeah, as long as they're captured in the frame. We're not worried about a little bit off of the background. That's not a big deal. We can extract that easily, so that's not a problem. So I hope that answers your questions. Let's talk about getting back to setting up that workflow. The essential things we need is, we need that same focal plane. We've addressed that plenty enough. Let's talk about that CSV or the roster.
Yes. So yeah. So then we coming back to the design part. Coming back to the CSV part. CSV is very important. If you need the name, the player name text, any text like player name, jersey number. If you need that, yes, we need the CSV file.
Well,
Now
we need that for organization anyways.
Yes, there are two reasons we need CSV file. So if you don't want the text on the images, but you are going to send us organized folders for each theme, then that is fine. We don't require the CSV file if we have the organized folder. So there are two aspects where we need the CSV. One, to add the text and the informations to the graphics, mostly in memory mates and individual graphics.
Yeah.
And if you don't need those, but if you're just dumping all the images in one folder, for example, you're dumping all the team images in one folder and individual images in one folder, then yes, we would need CSV file to segregate those based on the teams, and then we can process accordingly.
Yeah, so let me elaborate on that, guys. When you send us the CSV file that has all the image names, numbers, um,
Mhm.
that is really nice because you only have to send us one folder of images, all in one folder and a CSV. So what's going to happen in our process is we're going to create all the team images for you to see first. And we're going to pick one individual and we're going to output all the memory mate and the individual graphic sizes that you need for that one individual. And that's going to be your initial proof. Okay. Once that's approved, that's when our team goes in the back end and runs our automation system using your CSV to populate all the other individual graphics for your players. Now, in the preface to this, you're going to be working with our order validation team, Indrajit and Kartik, that will be making sure that your images and your CSV align. They do a really nice job. They get back to you really quickly just to make sure that's all aligned and ready to be run, because we don't want to slow this process down for you. And for those that are photo day users, you have a really sweet option of um, using their facial recognition. So you can upload the facial recognition will take care of everything, and you can download your CSV file directly from that. And that's all we need. That's how Stella and Kimberly and Cynthia use it. It works really well. So that's just a little caveat for Photo Day and their facial recognition. Tammy, let's put your question up here. You say, I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but with the CSV, is there a template that I can get that tells me the info I need to send you? I am using Photo Day and can export the data, but want to make sure I'm setting it up correctly from the get-go. I'm finally getting teams coming up so I can get the process down pat. Yes, so we have, Tammy, we have an Excel sheet, a Rebookü Excel sheet. And if you just want to leave me I have your email. I will send that
Yeah,
over.
I have one.
Okay. Mark will send that over to you. And that's going to give you all the columns that we like to have for that CSV file to help you get that properly set up. So yes, we do have that. And that will be helpful for you. And with Photo Day, that'll work perfect. All right. So we've got the CSV, we've got your images. Now, a couple other things we're going to need to know, Mark, is, do you want riser style? Do you want dynamic riser? Do you want dynamic? So let's talk a bit about that. So dynamic is really that full length. And you want everybody kind of in one row, whether it's in a V style or straight on or a U, however you want that to kind of look or how you photograph that to be seen. Here's the thing. It really only works well with about 12 people or less.
12 people. Yes.
We can do a large dynamic where we kind of stick people in a back row where you're talking like 15 to 18 people. But if you really want that all on the same one row, no more than 12. And I want you to think of the reason why. The majority of you are selling an 8x10 team photo or that ratio digital download. And most of your templates are built that way. So you're kind of in that elongated square, short rectangle. You don't have that width. And if we get more people than 12, we've got to make them smaller to fit in that constricted space.
Yes.
So you've got to think about this when you're shooting, especially when you're shooting football. Football is pretty much your standard riser style. It's pretty much named after football risers. That's why it's called riser style. So when you're shooting 20, 30, 50, 75 people or a band, you really want to shoot them in that riser style. You don't want their hands out, behind their back or on their hip or something like that.
Yes.
And think about the hands a lot no matter if you're doing dynamic riser or riser, they should never go past the shoulders.
Yes.
Okay. And what I mean by that is a lot of people like to take bats or hockey sticks or lacrosse sticks, put them behind their neck, take two basketballs and palm them out. You have to understand when you do that, those hands being extended like that are now taking up two place holders for two people because
Yes.
you position the hands out so far. So we can't put two people beside them. So we have to move them out, which means again, we have to make them smaller because of our restricted space. So you'll be asked that, and you'll see that in our online option, but we'll also request that in our offline option. In our offline option, we have our clients that are, that are people that have a particular look. They'll give us a diagram of how they want it. And again, we want to do this in your test job. We want to know everything about you and how you want it in a test job. But here's what you don't want to do. I don't want you changing up the process midstream during the busiest fall season week of the year, because you're asking us to build a Chevy on a Ford engine line now. We have tweaked your workflow to where it is rinse and repeat. And quite honestly, you shouldn't have to adjust it, because here's the deal. I get this from photographers every now and again. And that is, well, I used this style last year. That's true. But you did that with traditional photos too, long before virtual groups. Just because you used this style last year of this virtual compositing doesn't mean it's your customer's second, third, or fourth time. Most likely, many of them, it's their first time. And if it's their second or third time, you're probably using a different background or template to give it a little bit of a different look. So don't try reinventing the wheel with all these different poses and positioning. There's really no need for that. You have to understand volume is limited creativity, and it's about business and workflow. And I'm not talking about sport tricks. I'm not talking about the gels, the aerosols, the fire. I'm talking more about the T and I, the team and individual. This is limited creativity, but maximum business and efficiency. So keep that in mind, okay? Let's talk about selecting your color on uniforms or hex codes. Touch on that, Mark.
Yeah. So hex code, you have two options wherein you want us to match the templates with the jersey, with the uniform. So you can always give us the color code or the hex code of the specific color. That is very important to match the shade, the color shade. Each color might have multiple shades. So color code or the hex code does help us to identify the proper shade. Or you can just mention to match the template color with the uniform. We can do that.
And usually when they
So
ask about matching the uniform, we try to find the strongest tone of that color within the uniform.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
when we do that, it depends upon the graphics and the elements you have in in the template. Uh, the shade might get different. It would be a kind of um, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of some different kind of shade because of the templates or the elements in the graphics. It might affect comparatively what the uniform color is. If the uniform color is green, what I'm wearing right now, a green color, so that's a flat green. But if uh, if I try to match the wall behind this, if this is completely different shade or a different texture, I would say, so if I add the same color to this texture, it might be a different shade. That's what the customer need to understand.
Right. Which they would see in the initial proof as well. And we can make
Yes, initial proof.
supporting. And that's why we
So the
provide
only reason,
proofing.
yes, the
Yeah.
only reason we have this onboarding form, we are going to send you the onboarding form, which where you will add all your information about your shooting style, about your design style, about the template, whether you're going to use one of our template. We have 100 plus templates from 3 different designers, Josh Hanna, uh, My Photo Borders, and PSM Graphic. Let me also tell you, for Josh Hanna, we have all the designs available. So you can, if you are not able to find any specific design in our templates, please, and if you can see those specific design in Josh and our website, please contact us. You can send an email with the screenshot and the name. We will have that for you.
Lisa just wanted to tell us, Lisa Allman. Hi, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
She
Hi,
said that
Lisa.
you did an awesome job matching the uniform color for me recently. Thank you, Lisa. That's good to hear.
Thank you, Lisa.
Sometimes that can be tough because there's so many different shades between the wrinkles,
Yes.
the way the light's hitting it, creating shadows. So we're trying to pick the strongest tone. For those that don't know how to do a hex code, literally the best thing I can tell you is go to YouTube, type hex code Photoshop. It'll give you a quick tutorial on how you can select and establish a hex code that's universal. It's almost like a Pantone color that we can use for that purpose if you want to be that specific. And now I want to move on. You were saying about the onboarding document. I'm glad you brought that up. So we have a lot of clients that are doing a lot of volume. They don't really have time to use our online system because they just can't continue to place order after order after order.
Yes.
So for those that are growing or those that are already exceeding about 5,000 heads per season, we really recommend our enterprise solution. You see that banner I've got going at the bottom of the screen. And really what this does is this sets you up in our offline system. And what that means is you're going to have direct access to our server via an FTP software, which are free. If you're Windows, we use FileZilla. If you're Mac, it's CyberDuck or Fetch or even FileZilla.
FileZilla works too.
Yeah, FileZilla works well. And basically that is just giving you access to your part of our server. Allows you to upload your images, your template, your CSV file. And you're only billed once a month. So we bill you at the first of every month for the month prior. We send you an itemized workflow on that. What this does is this allows you to get the work over quickly. You'll have one email address where you'll send our email of your job being uploaded. As Mark was saying, if this is something that's interest to you, you'll get a hold of Mark at Rebookü.com. You can CC me too if you like, Ty at Rebookü.com. But we're going to send you an onboarding document. It's going to ask you every question: how you shoot, how you backgrounds, where you like your coaches, all these questions. That's going to give us a really good feel for your workflow. And then we're going to provide you with an order notes. Basically, that order notes, if you have any slight adjustments to a job, instead of sending it via email, because email becomes threads and it becomes deep and can get lost in translation, we want you to just send our team a note. It's just a Word doc. Type out, hey, generally I like full length for this. Please make sure it's 3/4 length. It's that simple. We don't want that in an email. We want that in that order note. So that is part of our enterprise solution. It works incredibly well because, again, it takes you completely offline. You're working directly with Mark and our volume team and our order validation team, Kartik and Indrajit and Prakash. So something to think about, especially for the fall. And I'm telling you now, if you're thinking about this for the fall, June, July, these are your 2 months to get this set up. You know, we'll still do some the 1st of August, but after that, we're knee deep into volume like you are. And we need to make sure we're already done your test jobs, and your test job cannot be a live job. It cannot be a live job. We will not do a live job. So don't come to us last minute, please, and say, hey, I need to get this set up. I forgot about it all summer. Here's a team I just did last week. I'm in a crunch. We can't do it that way because we need to take the time to make sure your workflow is set up properly. So plan ahead, think ahead. And as Mark was saying, you can send us your own templates, or you can use ours. We have Josh Hannum, my photo border, PSM Graphics. If you go to Rebookü.com, hover over services, go to Sports Creator. You can scroll that page. There is a button that says view our templates here. You're happy to go through them. They're itemized or they're bifurcated or divided out by designer and then by sport. So really easy to access. Turnaround times. Let's touch base on the initial turnaround times, Mark. So for turnaround times for your initial proof, and then turnaround times once we've received your proof, and let's break it down like this: 10 to 25 teams, 25 to 50 teams, 50 teams or more. Okay.
Okay, so basically the turnaround time. So most important, we need all the images, proper images, and proper CSV. Let me tell you, if the CSV there are any issues, it will extend the turnaround time because
Sure.
we cannot start the order without proper CSV file.
But the
Once
beauty
we
about
have,
that is our order validation team is really quick about
yes,
getting a response to that, generally within an
yeah,
hour
but we
or
need,
two after they've received it. So that is,
yes, but
but go
we,
ahead.
yes, definitely. So once we have everything set up, I believe we have a team of 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 teams. Uh, initial proof will be sent in 48 to 72 hours, maybe in 2 to 3 days, wherein we will extract all the images, we create all the 20 teams, and then we select one of your player for for individual graphic and memory made.
Yep.
Then we upload the proof, you check all the teams, you approve it. Once the proof is approved, then we will go ahead and run all the graphics for all the individuals and memory mates based as per your workflow, and we can deliver them in next 48 hours, 48 to 72 hours.
Yep.
We always try to deliver them as quick as possible. It depends upon the volume and the the number of approved orders we have. But we
Sure.
yes,
Number
we
of
always try
revisions you
to,
have on that initial proof affects it.
yes, that
Yeah. So 48, generally the first proof is 24 to 48 hours.
48.
Just because it's all, well, I shouldn't say that. It can be 48 to 72 if you're talking 50 teams or more. And then once that proof's approved, you're 10 to 20, it's 24 to 48 hours, 20 to 50, 48 to 72 hours. 50 teams or more, we could be pushing, 72 to 96 hours. Now,
Yes,
one of the things that we're working on right now through the summer is we have our design team, we have our order validation team. Our order validation team makes sure everything's straight, gives it to design. Design does all the extraction, or actually goes to extraction, does all the extraction. Design starts the layouts. Now we are also building within our uh, village of our family. We've already got existing workers that we're creating a graphic output team for the fall. And that graphic output team will be responsible for running the graphics. And the
yes.
goal of that is to create faster turnaround times and more accurate work.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are mistakes, sometimes our automation glitches.
Yes.
And I know that can be costly to you because you've got hundreds, sometimes thousands of images. Um,
Mhm.
and it's difficult for us to actually QC every image on our end unless you want to add an extended 2 or 3 days of QC. And I know you don't want to do that. So what we're continuing to do is just anywhere we're seeing some small glitches on our side, we're continuing to improve upon to make your experience even better. So that's our goal. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I kind of feel like that's about all I've got for this. Mark, what's your thoughts?
Uh, I believe it's all good. But yes, coming back to the turnaround time we were talking about, just to let you know, it's a involvement of different teams. First, we have to get all the images extracted, and that's very important part. Um, as we have more images, if we are talking about 50 or Steam, we might have image. I don't know, maybe we might have thousands of images because not all the customers might have one theme image and one individual image. They might have multiple individual poses. So
Yeah,
that increase the number of images to be extracted. That's where the only reason the initial proof, we don't mind getting the initial proof in 24 to 48 hours, but again, if we have thousands of images for extraction, it will take time.
sure. And part of that workflow, I think some of our customers' workflows, their request is, hey, can I get the PNGs of those extractions prior to the job being done so I can do my media day or whatever I've got to work on while you guys are finishing out my team and individual? And so we do accommodate customers with that, where we'll get them the PNGs
Yes.
prior to the work being done if they request that, correct?
Yes, for most of the customers, what they do is they usually request the PNG files after the proof approval, because when the proof is approved, they not only get the PNG of individuals, but they also get the PNG of team images.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so once the team images is approved, they get those as well. So we do
And they
have
get the
many customers
JPEGs of the teams and the PNGs of the
JPEGs of the teams as well. Yes. So the
yeah,
only pending would be individual graphic and memory mates.
yeah,
Yes. So all the options are available. It's up to the customers how they want to modify their workflow. We are here to always, modify the workflow. But again, keeping in mind that we do not change the workflow within the season, because again, changing the workflow will definitely affect the turnaround time. And yes, we might have missed one thing that is very important: the template. If the customers they're using their own template, it has always been requested to send us the template maybe 3 to 4 days or a week prior to sending your job, because we need to create multiple graphics or the sizes. We need to do some adjustment based on your workflow and the sizes you need. So we need to
sure.
check that. Yeah, so definitely we need the templates. If it's the customer's template, they're not using one of our template, please send the template prior to your job. That
Yeah,
would
a
help
lot of our
us to
company,
set up everything.
what they'll do is they'll send us some already have their templates set up for the season. They know
Yes,
what templates
yes,
they're using for, let's just say, soccer, softball, baseball for their spring. And they'll send us over to us and say, okay, will these work? We validate those and say, yep, you're ready to go. And then we'll keep those on file for you. Some
yes,
send them with each job. But again, everything in volume is about plan ahead. Don't be day of, don't be day behind. Just plan ahead. And Lisa is asking, how do you send the templates? You can send those via Dropbox WeTransfer. Lisa, you can send those to Mark. You can send them to volume@rebookü.com with your order ID. If you're using the online, if you're going to offline, you'll be FTPing those into your FTP account, and you can send them
yes,
prior to the images in the CSV, or you can send them with the images in the CSV. Totally up to you.
yes,
And she brings up just a nice point here I'm going to show. This spring was my first time using Sports Creator. Your work team is very honest. I must have filled out the order form wrong because I received partial refunds on several of the teams. So basically, what I think Lisa is saying is we had less images than what she paid for. After we did our validation count, we always make sure that if we have received more money than we should, we
yes,
make sure to give that back to you. We are honest. We carry a strong moral, ethical compass over here, and that's what's helped us grow because this is all based on trust.
trust.
You trusting us and ensuring us to take care of you during the busiest parts of your life, and we want to do our best to make sure that we have taken that trust to the highest level. So thank you, Lisa. That's a
Yes.
nice comment. I appreciate that. So, guys, it's been about 39 minutes. I usually only go about a half hour on these, but Mark's been very informative today. And I wanted you to all meet Mark. He is my right hand man. Couldn't do this without him. I'm so proud of him and how he works with our clients. And I just want to thank you for taking time. I am going to post this up today in the users group. so everybody can
Yes.
see that hasn't got to see this. But any questions, please reach out to us. Again, you see, if you need to get set up an enterprise solution, email mark@rebookü.com. We'll be happy to set up a phone call. If you need a Google Meet with the two of us, we're happy to do
Yes.
that as well. Whatever we can do
Yes.
to get your fall 2024 rolling, we're happy to do so. I just want to say, Mark, thank you for taking 40 minutes of your time today to come on
Thank you,
here
Ty.
and talk about this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ty, and thank you everyone who all are you viewing us right now. Thank you so much. And yes, let's try to make your fall much easier by using the volume, by using the offline. Online is always the options available, and we are always here to help you. So
Yeah.
please get in touch with us for any questions, any queries.
All right. Guys, have a good day and a
Thank
happy
you.
weekend.